Welcome back. When just one person becomes ill from eating beef tainted with E. coli 0157 bacteria, all beef producers and everyone across the beef chain feels the repercussions in the demand for their product and ultimately the price it brings. Now there's a product that may help to further reduce the risk for exposure to E. coli 0157 bacteria and give the beef industry another tool to use in our ongoing effort to keep beef safe. Reporter Matt Fleck has more from Central Kansas.
Barton County Feeders near Great Bend, Kansas prides itself on having a staff with decades of industry knowledge.
I recently calculated the combined years of experience at our yard, and we have, amazingly, even to my surprise, 468 years of combined experience at this facility. So you can see we've been here a while, we've seen it all and experienced it all, and we can pretty well adapt to whatever happens today.
Barton County Feeders is a participating feed yard in the Beef Marketing Group, or BMG, a producer-owned cooperative created from a group of small, independent operators. BMG is able to operate efficiently while remaining competitive and nimble in a rapidly evolving industry.
We can move as we identify directions to move that make sense to us and make sense to the systems that we're involved with. I think the other thing is that we are very committed to integrity. And so we're very careful about situations that we're going to get ourselves in, opportunities that we're going to pursue, but once we decide that that's the direction we're going to go, we are absolutely committed.
Barton County Feeders and BMG are working to bring all sectors of the industry together, from ranchers and packers to retailers, restaurants, and food service suppliers, to create a complete beef supply chain management system. The group is also committed to further reducing the presence of E. coli 0157 in the beef production supply chain. The operation has strict cleaning standards and safeguards against cross-contamination. It is also testing a vaccine for E. coli 0157 from Pfizer Animal Health.
Our motivation for trying it was to reduce the E. coli in arrival at the packing plant, but also to reduce the shedding here at our facility. And it's E. coli is a huge concern with our consumers, and it's very, very costly to the industry, because if a lot of beef is condemned because of E. coli, that's a huge cost, not only the packer, but he isn't going to share all of it. It gets passed along to us, so to all of us, the consumer and the feed yard.
Over the last 10 years, the E. coli 0157 has actually cost the beef industry in excess of $3 billion in lost revenues, in perception damage, in lower amounts of demand for our product. Obviously, if you're going to talk about $3 billion, part of that's going to be about $1 billion of that going to the feed yard industry, $1 billion of it going to the packing industry, and the remaining portion of it going to food service retail industry. So it's a lot of money.
The Escherichia coli bacterial extract vaccine with SRP technology is the first of its kind for cattle to be used as a pre-harvest intervention in the U.S. on a large scale. It uses the animal's immune system to reduce prevalence and shedding of E. coli 0157 at the source, in the cattle.
So the siderophore receptor and porin protein vaccine, SRP, vaccinates against both the passive, the porins, and the active transport, the siderophore receptors, so that the bacteria can't bring iron into it, and it basically suffocates. Iron is to a bacteria like E. coli as oxygen is to us, and so we prevent those bacteria from having that iron capacity, and they can no longer function.
What we're trying to do at Pfizer Animal Health, we're trying to control E. coli from the inside of the animal, where it harbors, where it's actually housed. And if we can actually eliminate that, and it looks like we are able to at least reduce the presence of E. coli 015787 in these cattle, we're going to have less animal-to-animal contamination as far as E. coli 015787.
So if the cattle have the pathogen reduced in their gut and in their bodies, theory would tell you that then it's going to be reduced in the operation as well. And wouldn't that be a nice thing if we could show that we actually were able to reduce something as concerning as E. coli on an operation from before we use the interventions to after we use the interventions. So we're very concerned about that. We believe it's the right thing to do, and we're learning more and more about it every day.
Welcome back. Let's return to reporter Brian Baxter, who's learning more about how one Kansas operation is working to prevent E. coli in cattle.
The Escherichia coli bacterial extract vaccine may reduce the likelihood that cattle would carry E. coli 0157 and thus help reduce the chances that the bacteria could contaminate hide or carcasses, helping the entire beef processing system, from producers and veterinarians to the packers, retailers, and ultimately the consumer.
It's no different than carcass washing or steam pasteurization or any of those other things they do at the packing level. It's things that we can get excited about at our level to where, okay, now we can add our part. You can take all the pre-harvest interventions that you want that are physical, but without something that's metabolic, that you can really put into the animal and affect the change in the manner that this product potentially has the ability to do. That's the big difference between it. We could keep, we wash cattle every day. I mean, you can go into those kind of things, and you're still not going to eliminate it. But you do something that's an intervention like this, and all of a sudden you reduce your opportunity. And those are the things that really kind of are going to lend a lot of value to the industry.
The Escherichia coli bacterial extract vaccine also has the potential to provide feedyard operations a tool to play a new role in reducing E. coli 0157 in cattle.
There are a lot of intervention measures at the packing plant, but the feed yard is a place where if we can lower that pathogen load going into the packing plant, then all of those other intervention measures are going to work just that much better because they don't have the volume to deal with. The vaccine that we're working with Pfizer on right now to utilize in the feed yards, it's a new intervention measure, but one that we've got a lot of confidence in. It's taking some extra dollars to be able to produce a product like that, but we have always heard the consuming public and the processors tell us that food safety is not something that is a price concern. We've ran several tests in our feed yards with the vaccine in trying to establish its efficacy in being able to reduce the pathogen loads, and I'm just as convinced as I sit here that we're able to reduce our pathogen load, and that makes it much easier to deal with when it gets to the packing plant.
A responsible food safety program requires investment, planning, and commitment from the entire beef industry.
Is it easy to do? No. If it was easy to do, somebody would have done it 10 years ago. But it's one of those things that you have to have some people that are concerned. You have to have people that are wanting to try to make a difference. You also have to work with people that can manage cattle, not only at the feed yard, but maybe even upstream eventually at the rancher level.
Reporting from Great Bend, Kansas, I'm Matt Fleck for NCBA's Cattleman to Cattleman.
If you'd like more information on Pfizer Animal Health's products, including its Escherichia coli bacterial extract vaccine, visit our website at cattlemantocattleman.org.